Hello my friends, just a quick update on the situation in Ukraine. Sorry, it's gonna be a short video because I have the headache and it's not very pleasant for me to film the videos. Anyway, it was confirmed by Ukrainian officials that our forces are targeting the Russian positions on the other part of the Dnieper River, on the other shore, let's say near to Oleshki. And today it's also been confirmed that Nova Kakhovka over here, it's been confirmed by the eyewitnesses that there was the shooting together with some sort of the explosions in the area. The shooting was happening on the Russian-controlled territory, so it means that Ukrainians probably were able to cross the Dnieper River here as well with some light units, with the light boats. And Russia, after targeting some of the islands in this area together with Antonovsky Bridge that was already destroyed, they ceased their attempts to regain this territory under their control. As for the eastern side of Ukraine, there are no any changes, my friends. There was no new update. So let's go to the recent news. Yesterday I've told you that there were several explosions happening not far away from the airfield in St. Petersburg, and today Russian officials confirmed the explosions. However, they do not provide any kind of the visual evidence of what happened there. They say that the local electrical power plant was the target for the drones, but the drones were shut down as usual for Russian air defense. Yes, they always say that they target everything and just debris cause the damages. And probably this is the video of our guys' operation near to Kherson. So we used the Humvees with some sort of the rocket on the top, and they target the ground targets in the area very close to the Dnieper River. Russia used the special towers to monitor the Ukrainian-controlled territory, but those were targeted by that special system. My friends, tell me in the comment what system do we use on those Humvees, because I thought that we're gonna use only ground-to-air systems, but it seems like we have ground-to-ground rockets. Those are not TOWs, not TOWs against the tanks or something. Those are like the HIMARS but smaller and for the shorter distance. One of the delivered MiG-29 was painted in black color and it looks interesting, like a pirate plane. On the background you can see the standard Ukrainian camouflage, so it's the pixel art, blue-gray colors. Right, it seems like I know the answer to my question. Those are KWS rockets that were promised a long time ago to Ukrainian army, and it seems like those were delivered to us. This is the rocket itself. Yeah, looks like the HIMARS. And those rockets are laser guided and could be mounted on the helicopters, on the vehicles, or on everything basically. The Ukrainian drone again was spotted near to Moscow, near to Domodedovo airport. For example, here we can see the video. It looks like the small airplane, but actually it's the drone. Plus, one of the airline pilots reported that he got the drone inside while he was performing the approach to land in Domodedovo. So there are numerous of the cases then those drones are reaching the Russian capital. Denmark reports that they have spotted the special Russian ship over the Nord Stream pipes just before those were sabotaged. The ship was this one, SS-750, that is equipped with a special diving submarine. You can see it on the aft side of this ship. I've already told you why it was profitable for Russia to destroy or damage those pipelines, but their plan didn't work. Today Putin signed a special order saying that all of the Ukrainians on the occupied territories should take the Russian passport, otherwise they will be under the threat of the deportation. Basically, if they keep the Ukrainian passport, it means that they are foreigners for Russia. And Russian officials say that if they support Ukraine, they will be deported. I think it's kind of the old ancient barbarian tactics of taking the land. I read it in the history books and it's the first time I see it in real life. One of the chief generals of the United States, Christopher Cavalier, today said that the Ukrainian army is in a good state to start a counteroffensive. He also said that the Russian army is strong and they have even more soldiers in Ukraine compared to beginning of the war, but still Ukrainian army is capable to perform the successful counteroffensive that will start, I think, the next month. Plus, today the British Defense Intelligence says that Russia accumulated 97% of all of their forces in Ukraine. The remaining 3% probably will go on parade on the Red Square very soon. Today, the building with this paint job was totally ruined in Bakhmut. It was done by Ukrainian forces because we mined it before retreating our forces, so then Wagners go into it, we just explode, causing Russian severe losses. Unfortunately, yes, it was the great art over there, but was demolished. The behavior of the Russian soldiers and their commanders is beyond my understanding. What they've did, it's been confirmed by the British intelligence today with the satellite images. So what they did, they put the armed forces just on the nuclear power plant reactors. I just want to zoom in to check what they put over there, so it's hard to tell. Looks like the artillery system or a 30mm gun, something like that, is staying just on the roof of the nuclear power plant. It's just crazy. And yesterday it was anniversary of the Chernobyl tragedy that happened because of the stupid Soviet management. And on some Russian publics I saw the memes or the pictures saying that they can repeat that again with Energodar nuclear power plant, and basically from what I see they really can do it. I just hope that during the future counteroffensive we'll be able to liberate the nuclear power plant. We are not going to fight over there, it's the stupid idea, but we can cut the supplies for Russian forces in Energodar and they will be forced to evacuate from the area. Oh, more nuclear news. United States have decided to modernize their ammunition, nuclear ammunition that was left during the Cold War, so they decided to produce more shells and perform the modernization of the Trident II rockets, plus modernize the bombs B-6112 that are stated in Europe. Interesting and at the same time strange information is coming from France. The French Minister of Transport, Kelman Bon, said that Ukraine is working to renew the flights. The airspace all over the Ukraine was closed for more than 1 year, and honestly I don't see any perspectives for it to open. By the way, France does a fantastic job supporting the currency of Ukrainian pilots. We have a free simulators in Paris, so you don't have to pay for the session, just for the instructor's job. And I went there for my skill test half a year ago and it was great. But with the threats that are coming from the Russian side with all of those rockets targeting the critical Ukrainian infrastructure, no, the flights will not be renewed in Ukraine in the nearby future. And for those who are interested, I started my flying again, but not in the big commercial aviation. I went to the local air club to fly gliders and the small planes, just not to forget how to do it. But the commercial career for me is on a break for 1 or 2 years, because in case I would find a job right now as a pilot, there would be no time for me to keep you updated on the situation in Ukraine. So now it's my full-time job here on YouTube. Yesterday I forgot to tell you about the Skynex air defense system. The principle is similar to Gepard tanks, and before we were told that Ukraine is going to receive those systems in 2024, but now it's, let's say, the first half of the 2023 and we already got them. The last night Russia fired the Caliber rockets towards some of the cities in Ukraine. One of the small households was hit together with a several-story residential building. As it was reported, we have 23 wounded people and one of the civilians lost his or her life. The Russian general, so-called Mariupol butcher, who gave the order for the aviation bombing of the city, was dismissed today from his position in Russia. His surname is Mizintsev, and you know, because of the bombing of the city, Ukraine lost more civilians in Mariupol than the soldiers during this war. For now, it's very hard to say how many people lost their lives in Mariupol, but that number could be more than 100,000. Right, unfortunately we have the bad news. Ukraine lost several of the S-300 systems. Russia launched the Lancet drones. Those are very effective. They have the huge range and are not so vulnerable against the interference of the counter-radar system. So today they targeted S-300 systems, at least 2 of them. And I wonder why those were put so close over here, and still the range of the drone is around 50 kilometers. So is it necessary to put our air defense systems that close to the front lines? We are still in lack of the air defense systems, and about S-300, I don't know where we can get those, and still those were destroyed with the simple drones. And I saw many videos of Lancet drones, those are very effective. We have the advantage using the small drones in our infantry, but speaking about big kamikaze drone like Lancet or Shahid drones, we really don't have the analog of those. Yes, there are some drones that were spotted in Moscow, but we have just started the massive production and we don't have that huge number of the drones as Russia has right now. And Russia have used the Lancet drone against the other S-300 system. You can see that they are probably moving away from the spot, but finally were also targeted by the Lancet. So what worries me is whether the Patriot systems would not be targeted the same as S-300 systems, because we have to put them closer to the front lines to make sure that the Russian aviation stays away from the front lines. Then we're gonna start the counterattack. And Russia published this picture saying that they've destroyed the Gepard tank somewhere near to the front lines, but it could be the Photoshop, so I'm waiting for the full video. The Lancet drones also target the Ukrainian artillery. That is why our guys put the net over the artillery systems. You can see it over here. Why I think that with Gepard tank it could be the Photoshop, because they did clearly a Photoshop over here with the Bradley armor recoil, showing that it could be the Lancet or something, but no, it's the Photoshop. But about Gepard, it's hard to say whether it was the Photoshop, so I'm still waiting for the video. Alright, about the new Russian mobilization, the Washington Post says that they want to recruit around 415,000 soldiers. Russia wants to hire them into their regular army this year, and as I said to you before, Russia has also some resource from the mandatory servicemen. And nowadays Russian army pushes those young men to sign the contract after mandatory 1-year service, so that is how they may get around 200,000 soldiers. Plus, they will mobilize some of the men, mostly from the countryside, because they gave the order to local authorities to take care about the new blood in the Russian army. This article again based on the leaked documents. Yes, Russia struggles in their resources. The only advantage they have over Ukrainian army is aviation and, as I say to you, the kamikaze drones. Plus, potentially, they have huge human resource. But the Ukrainian army has better weaponry and better trained soldiers. And from what I see, if they successfully get that number of the soldiers, this war may continue for years, unfortunately. The only chance to stop it very fast is with the new Ukrainian counterattack. It should be a very fast operation, and we should cause panic not just on the front lines, but inside the Russian military elite and the Russian politics. They should understand that Russia may only lose this war, and finally they will lose it. But unfortunately, the probability of the long-term war is greater than the short-term conflict, as you see. Russia banned the cargo transportation from Armenia because Armenia have decided to perform the military drills, the joint military drills with NATO. There are expected around 9,000 American soldiers to join the drills, and you know, Armenia is the part of ODKB. This is the military alliance with Russia, and they perform the drills with NATO. So yes, it's very interesting and it's punch to Russia. Poland opens the special facilities for the maintenance support of the Leopard 2 tanks. They'll start the maintenance from May, and it means that during the May time, those tanks will be on the front lines. They are already very close to the front lines, but haven't been used by Ukrainian forces. And again, Russia is digging more trenches in Zaporizhia. Finally, it will be penetrated by Ukrainian forces, and no matter how long it is, if you penetrate it at some narrow place, you can go back and cut the supplies for Russia or cut their forces out. And there was the new update of the Google Maps, and you may check yourself, for example, the devastation of the Hostomel airport. So those are the new images. The part of the Maria is still over there. I still think that it was taken a few months ago, because now it's more or less clean. You can see some sort of the trenches, improvised trenches by the Russian forces. By the way, this is the K-52, the Russian attack helicopter, and you can see lots of the artillery shelling on the runway and near to the runway. The runway was bombed actually by our bombers and also artillery, not letting the Russians to use it for landing. You can see lots of the holes in the runway, so that is why they have to move their forces through the ground from Belarus to Hostomel at first and then to Kiev, but unsuccessfully. And just near to Kiev there is the Buzova village. I started my flying over there from the gliders, and this is the air club. You can see lots of the fires. That's because of the fighting. So photos were taken, I think, then Russians came to the place, and one of the Russian fighter jets, Sukhoi Su-34, landed on the air club, demolishing some of the buildings in that area, bringing the devastation to the air club. Some of the gliders and the airplanes were damaged, and this used to be the building. We had the bar out there. The hangar with the gliders got damaged as well. Here were also some of the airplanes, and Russia fired their artillery shells very close to this big hangar, and we got lots of the airplanes and gliders there, and some of them were damaged. But anyways, I'm sure that we're gonna restore and rebuild everything after our victory. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Now please press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my channel, you may go to the video description just below. You may find some links on my Patreon, and also you may support me on the membership on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your help and your support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.